Let's talk about Notion. So if you type into YouTube how to start a YouTube channel or YouTube inspiration or any of that kind of stuff, you get some sort of YouTuber that's done a good job or has managed to get YouTube famous, talking about some of the tools that they use and things like that and things on those sort of lines. And one of the tools everybody seems to recommend is a tool called Notion. Now, the thing about Notion is that it's actually unbelievably complicated to use. I've just downloaded it to try and see how it works, right? I've had a look through the different menu options and stuff, and it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. In fact, it's so confusing that I really didn't know where to start, if that makes sense. And it just made me think about user experience. User experience is such an important part of using an app, right? If you use an app and it's great, happy. If you use an app and it's bad, sad. So when I downloaded Notion and I signed up with my Apple ID and all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 logged in, I was just presented with loads of messy tables and stuff all over the place and everything everywhere. And yes, there's probably 101 different videos on YouTube about how if you use it right, you'll love it. But if you use it right, isn't software supposed to be designed in a way that makes you use it because it's good to use? I mean, when I make software myself as a developer, that's what I try to do. I try to make it so that it's so good from a user experience perspective that you just like using it and you come back and use it again. And then there's another aspect to Notion which everybody should think about. Right now, I have on my computer a lovely thing called Notes that's by Apple, right? And I can do many of the things that Notion can do. I can add checkboxes, I can add tables, I can add images, I can add different things in there, if that makes sense. So I already have a system on my Mac to do note taking. Okay, well, what about reminders and to-do lists? Well, I've got something like that for you. It's called Reminders. So with Reminders, I have something else which I can use as a way to have a to-do list on my Mac. And do you know what the biggest benefit is to these things? The biggest benefit to these things is they're owned by Apple. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is there's a privacy implication here. Notion, third-party company, wants to track you. They want your data. They want your usage data of what you're doing with the app. And there's something a little bit concerning to me about a company like Notion having access to all of your notes, you know. That's the same reason I don't use Google Docs. There's many of these organizations that everything you're typing out, technically, and I'm sure that it says this somewhere with some legal jargon in the privacy policy, technically, they might be able to just copy and paste that and use it somewhere else. And yes, Apple could do the same. That's true. But I genuinely believe in Apple's privacy promise. I've read their privacy agreement, their commitment never to sell the data or to use it in a malicious way, and I trust them. I trust them with that. I genuinely do. And I may be silly and proven wrong in the future, but right now I trust them. So that's a little bit about Notion. More videos coming soon. Next one that I'm preparing to do is a bit more of a sort of different style from the sort of other videos I've done, but it's going to be more about why I use Mac. Why I use Mac, you know. So that's coming soon. It's taking a lot of time. I don't write scripts, but it's more bullet points around how to do these specific things. And I want to get some alternative shots maybe out on different locations and stuff about why I use a Mac and sort of a little bit more about what I do in my day-to-day life with my Mac and part of the reason why I have one. So that's something that's coming. So please bear with me. It is coming. But I just wanted to share those thoughts about Notion. So thanks very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.